We come now to a few special awards. First up is the award for literature. Ladies and gentlemen, to present the final round of awards for two of your hosts this evening, please welcome the group managing editor and executive editor of AMG, Kalpesh and Shailesh Solanki.
The Eastern Eye Award for Literature is presented to an author for literary work published in 2015, which has at its core a South Asian influence.
The nominees are Anita Anand for Princess, Suffragette, Revolutionary; Badisha for Asylum and Exile, The Hidden Voices of London; and Sanjeev Sahota for The Year of the Runaways.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Eastern Eye Award for Literature 2016 goes to Anita Anand.
Anita Anand is a well-known national broadcaster who has managed to combine a packed schedule of commitments on radio and television with writing her first book to much acclaim. Sophia, Princess, Suffragette, Revolutionary is an extraordinary tale about an extraordinary woman. Born into a world of privilege and luxury, and much to the pet of a doting Queen Victoria, she turned her back on all that, championing the cause of Indian freedom and becoming an unyielding advocate of women's rights and the rights of those subjugated to brutal colonial rule. Her role in both movements have been largely forgotten until Anand this wonderful book.
Thank you so very much. I'm really very honoured, partly because this is such an august audience. I mean, to have, first of all, Nihal, who I think is an absolute superstar, presenting awards like this, and it's just, you can throw any kind of naughty boy at this man and he'll cope. He's that good. But also, I mean, they've been mentioned before, but to have people like Sanjeev, Meera, in the audience watching this, these people have meant so much. Amit Roy was mentioned as well, who is a great inspiration to me when I first started, when it was a time when you saw an Asian name as a byline and you'd cut it out and you put it to the side thinking, you know, one day maybe I could do that. And to get an award for doing something that I have loved so much is just so special. For those of you who don't know Sophia, who took over my life for about 4 years. She was the daughter of a Maharaja. She was goddaughter to Queen Victoria. She lived at Hampton Court, a paparazzi princess, a winner of crufts, a champion dog breeder, a competitive hockey player, voracious smoker, and also one of the enemies of the state, a woman who fought shoulder to shoulder with Emmeline Pankhurst to get women the vote in this country. The very country that the rest of her family blamed for robbing them of their heritage, their home, and even the Kohinoor diamond, by the way. It was a joy, and it happened by accident. I never meant to write a book. I know how hard it is. I'm married to, luckily, my best friend, who is also an author, Simon Singh, over there. I know how hard it is. I never wanted to write a book. But I just wanted to find out about this woman. I came across her by accident. And there was nothing. There was no book about her. It was really hard to find anything on Google about her. Sanjeev said, you know, that glass ceiling for women is low, for brown women is very, very low. It's also very easy to excise them entirely from history. So it has been an honor and a privilege to put her back where I think she belongs. Thank you very much indeed. Totally honored to have won the Eastern Eye Award for Literature, and very grateful. Thank you very much indeed. It's been extraordinary, actually. From the moment I found this incredible story, it became one I had to tell. And that's the only reason I did it. It's just because it ached in me that people didn't have a place to go to find out about this woman who had led such an amazing life. So whether anybody had read it or not, I didn't care. I just wanted to write it. And since then, she's taken me all around the world. I mean, I just came back from Lahore recently, having done the literature festival there. Was in Bradford just this afternoon, had to rush back for this, which I'm very glad that I did. India, America, Australia, you know, it's fantastic to be able to tell the story of somebody who was actually a British Asian woman who changed history. So to me, it's just getting something like this for doing something I would have done anyway is wonderful. Well, I mean, the Bradford Literary Festival was amazing. It's not billed as an Asian festival at all. It's a literary festival. And if you go to literary festivals, as I have a lot, they are very white. They're very white, they're very middle class. They're a certain type of person who goes there. And there were two women, British Asian women, who thought actually there should be other voices, diverse voices. So they didn't just wait and they didn't ask, which is I think something that Sanjeev was saying when he was on stage. They just smashed a space in between, and they've made this amazing festival, which is really only just starting out as a little embryo of a festival, which I think deserves all our support. And in it, I mean, I saw amazing things like Caroline Duffy, the poet laureate, sharing a stage with a poet from Pakistan and one from India, and some from Bradford and some from the East End of London. And it was, you know, there was something really special going on there. It wasn't an Asian affair. It was made by British Asians, but it was a literary festival, and I think it's one of those that is here to stay, and we are richer for having it. Well, I mean, mine is less creative and more journalistic, and I would always say that if you want to go into my field, which is sort of politics and news and current affairs, don't bother if all you want to do is be on telly. Go into it if you want to tell stories. Go into it if you think that there are voices that aren't being heard, or stories that aren't being told properly, or you have a hunger to find things out. You don't believe what you're being presented, and you think there's something behind it. Because then you'll get joy and fulfillment. If you go into it with the aim of just being on the telly, it's a really rocky road ahead. But if you go sort of sincerely thinking, I want to tell stories, the rest takes care of itself. Trust me, it does.